This one unique changes everything. It has finally dropped. And we need to talk about it because a lot of people misunderstand the Ring of Mendeln. This is truly the one item that supercharges a minion build. Let me explain what it does and what people seem to misunderstand. While you have 7 or more minions, you gain Lucky Hit, up to a 10% chance to empower all of your minions, causing the next attack from each to explode for 13,000 physical damage. That's a lot because you have 12 minions, you trigger Lucky Hit, and you get that. Now, first and foremost, there's a prefix and it says up to 10%. What does that mean? Does that mean it can be a 1% chance sometimes, a 9%, an 8%, a 7%? Weird, but that's not it. So you gain 10% chance, Lucky Hit. Now let's do the math on this. Lucky Hit needs to be triggered. My corpse explosion has a Lucky Hit chance of 47%, for example. Wait, that's wrong. Let me pick back the Ring of Mendeln because that increases your Lucky Hit chance. So now we're at a 50% Lucky Hit chance, but that doesn't mean it's a 50% chance to trigger the Ring of Mendeln. This is a 50% chance to trigger Lucky Hit. And if I trigger Lucky Hit, there's then an up to 10% chance to actually trigger the Ring of Mendeln, which means there's a 5% chance that the Ring of Mendeln actually triggers. Same goes for our Blight. Blight also 50% Lucky Hit chance, 10% Ring of Mendeln, 5% chance it actually triggers, which in total means that with the Ring of Mendeln, you need to stack more Lucky Hit chance items. Luckily, I already have the Howl from below with a 16.5% bonus, but that is plus 16.5%. Yes, we're not having a multiplicative value here. Let me explain. We're putting these off, I'm putting these off. Okay, 16.5% less and another 7.5% additive less. Now we're down to 40%. You notice what I'm saying? This is not a multiplicative value. This is adding on top 16.5% plus to the 40%. Now, where else could Lucky Hit be good? That's on the weapon. But here we come to the conundrum that we're currently using the Bloodless Scream, and that does not give any Lucky Hit. One thing you might not know is that every weapon type has a specific bonus. Scythers, two-handed Scythers, always do live on kill. So if you don't actually have the Bloodless Scream for this build, but the Ring of Mendeln, that's good for you because you don't actually need this weapon to make it work. It would be better to use one-handed wands because wands will always have Lucky Hit chance, and that Lucky Hit chance will always be higher the higher the item level is. That's a 507 one. And this one with 758 already has 10% Lucky Hit chance. So former useless value now becomes supercharged because it wants to work with the Ring of Mendeln. But do you actually feel it in a dungeon, and how do you make the most of it? Let me quickly break down how my Necromancer skill rotation works, but there's also a link in the description below to the video in depth explaining it and the Diablo 4 builds link. We're using Blight as a slower and also as an immobilizer. Yes, very important. The 15% damage plus is actually not needed or even important, especially not with the explosions. The explosions just are amazing in itself. Then we have Corpse Explosion as shadow damage, overwhelming our opponents. We do only have 1 point in Grim Harvest because we make so much essence because of the Cult Mages that just give you bonus essence, and we get all the corpses also bonus even more with the Reapers. On top of that, we're using the Iron Golem to make things vulnerable. Due to then using Decrepify, and yeah, we have 5 points in here right now because of our helmet, we're able to put a Lucky Hit chance on for cooldown reduction. And that's interesting because the Lucky Hit chance works the same on Decrepify as with the Ring of Mendeln. It's a 15% instead of a 10% chance, but due to having higher Lucky Hit chance on your abilities in total, you trigger this more often as well, so you can spam your Golem even harder. Then we actually need the 3 points in Gloom and in Terror for the heavy bonus damage on yourself together with Shadow Blight. And I'll say this again, Callan's Addict is completely useless. After you've not taken damage in the last 3 seconds, your minions gain 15% attack speed, and that gets doubled. But realistically, even if you have this, you will always be taking some points of damage at some point. Is it a shock lance? Is it the environment? Is it just one minion walking past your guys? Is it a charger? Like, being undamaged for 3 seconds in a row it's superficial. It doesn't happen. Rather take an ability that's always useful than try to hog one that might work if you're actually so far away that you maybe don't even ever get hit by anything, and the higher nightmare dungeons you get, there will always be something hitting you. Most important part is that you completely screw Hellbent Commander. The damage is nice, but you're actually not really close to your minions. You're kind of like hovering outside around them, but you want the death defense and you want the inspiring leader. And again, Callan's Edict with a bonus attack speed does not actually boost the Ring of Mendeln, because it doesn't matter how much attack speed you have. You need to trigger the lucky hit beforehand anyways, before the attack speed matters for your skeletons. And the most important thing you want anyways have is your skeletons just casting blizzards like crazy, then lucky hit proccing, then completely obliterating people. Yeah. By the way, I found this amazing amulet recently. It gives 3 ranks to amplify damage. That means I'm doing now 18% bonus damage to cursed enemies. Really nasty. Also interesting if this 18% bonus damage would also apply to your minions and the Ring of Mendeln proc. Now let's roll this into a dungeon. We're level 78, so the Nightmare Dungeon is always Sigil plus 54 levels. So a level 30 would be 84 monsters. That's 6 levels above. That's okay. Should be in a 4-level range. Now again, the most important part about the Ring of Mendeln is you actually need to hit your lucky hits. So you can't just stand there and have your minions do all the thing. I need to use my abilities to hit lucky hit to actually empower my minions to then have their attacks get the bonus boost. Ergo, I can't just sit there and have my minions do all the work for me. That's what people kind of wanted. They wanted this Undying Necromancer vibe where you can literally go AFK and just have your minions do the job. But that won't just work. I mean, I'm throwing my Blight in, which right now has a lucky hit chance of 50% due to my gloves and due to the ring itself. Also, the Corpse Explosion is at 50% as well. Plus, I'm not sure if the Golem stun actually has a lucky hit. I gotta look into that. But yeah, we are definitely seeing an uptick in damage. Well, these two just vanished. I did nothing. I did nothing and the 2 elites just died. Perfect. I like to see that. And there's one more back. My minions died to the shock lance. That's fine. We need to summon 7 minions so we can actually get the most out of this. Keep that in mind. You need to look at your minion count here, and it always needs to be 7 because that was the prerogative from the Ring of Mendeln that without 7 it won't work. But we definitely do see an uptick in damage here. It's slight. It's hard to kind of see the actual Ring of Mendeln damage though. That's a big of a problem because, yeah, like, is it now like my minions are doing the damage, right? But is it now a Ring of Mendeln? There was an 11k. That could have been a Ring of Mendeln proc. But then as soon as you see an 11k, you need to see more 11ks because the Ring of Mendeln obviously procs everyone. So, right, all the skeletons at the same time do 12k damage, which then amounts with 12 summons to straight up another 100k damage. It doesn't sound like a lot, but randomly getting a 100k damage bonus for essentially doing the damage you're doing anyways. That's the best part about the ring. It amplifies your damage without forcing you to do anything, right? You do your usual thing, your usual rotations, you get your things in, you stun, you vulnerable people, you reset your cooldowns with the Prepify to spam your golem. Yes, that's beautiful, by the way. And then you keep doing the same thing and essentially just get a bonus of clearing speed. And we're definitely faster doing this. I mean, this is a tier 30 dungeon and technically it's not even in our level range. So we should be not doing this. And keep in mind, my weapon, my Bloodless Scream is only level 6. Is only level 690. That's horrible. When at this point I should have an 800 plus weapon that will rise my attack power by another 3,000 points. Yes, I have 3,000 less attack power than I should have. And we're still going through very nicely. I mean, here again, I'm at 15,000 in total when everything procs and triggers. But I'm only at 4,000 like this. I mean, we can leave it open here for... up there. We can leave it open here for a fight to see how my attack power gets higher due to all the buffs I have, but how high it would actually be if I had even more, right? So we just pop everything out. We will leave this open. You can see the change in it. Oh, I just closed it accidentally. Very sorry for that. I keep accidentally hitting the button. And now we get there's 15,000. Why? That's 5 corpses. You see 10,000, 15,000. So we have two things that buff our attack power or our overall damage by 120% and then by 40%. And you notice how that gives us, like, you know, a triple. But if we now had 7,000, that would bring us even higher. So there is, you know, like quite some damage missing just in overall, but the minions are doing oh wow, it just all went away. Okay, hi. Hi. I mean, to the people that keep telling me this doesn't work in higher nightmare dungeons, I did try up to 40. It takes a while longer. Again, Minion Necromancer just takes a little bit. It does work. You know, I do survive. My minions do survive as well. I mean, they will die always at some point. But my Dead Razor Glyph also needs to finally reach level 15 to get the maximum of damage reduction. And it's just working fine. I mean, like, if I get now the very important Paragon nodes, and these are still missing for Skeleton Mage resist to all elements, for Skeleton Warrior armor, and all the way back here, the maximum minion life one. And the maximum minion life one, that's what I'm essentially going to be just straight up going for in the next times, because that's fire. This whole node will higher the survivability so much, but you notice that without the node, the survivability is already S tier regardless. No Army of the Dead, and my minions barely die around the corner. I'm triggering lucky hit left and right, so we get this done. I mean, there's a horde of monsters here. I don't even have to wade in, right? I can stand back here, spam my corpse explosion, and everything just goes down. In between, I do resummon my minions, trigger the Skeletal Priest, because again, don't forget, the Skeletal Priest is not only for healing, the Skeletal Priest is also for the bonus damage. That's 20% bonus damage. Why not just trigger the one or the other Skeletal Priest in between? Well, almost there. Almost there. The Ring of Mendeln really supercharged this, but you can also play it without, as I've proven in the guide before. That being said, there's also the Blood Necromancer, and as you can see here, he's absolutely fun to play, as I just got a new weapon and rampage over everything. Here's the 1 to 50 guide, and will be updated with a new 70+ endgame Bloodmancer as well.